Since the economy's been faltering for several months, with bailouts and bankruptcies prominently in the news, and with the economy officially in recession since last year, the Federal Reserve has been trying to come up with ways of stimulating the economy to nurse it back to health. There's so many factors involved, and each has different outcomes depending on what is applied. For example, this past month, consumer prices dropped by the largest amount on record for 60 years. Construction was down nearly 19%. Food and clothing prices rose slightly, but auto prices, airline ticket prices, and other factors dropped sharply. Falling prices for goods and services ordinarily would be a good thing for consumers, but a continued downward spiral can wreak havoc on the economy, forcing companies to slow production and cut jobs, and that causes consumers to scale back spending even more. So the Fed has dropped rates to an unusual level, to about as low as they can go.
Borrowing costs are going to be lower, especially when you look at the prime rate. So the prime rate, like Wells Fargo announced, they're going to like 3.25%. That's good for businesses. Business loans, credit cards, adjustable rate mortgages. So that's helping people out.
Ellis says businesses have been making pretty good money by buying up Treasury bonds. He says the bonds are like a teeter-totter, but bond prices have been rising while the yields they pay have been dropping.
See how much has come down here in the last month? So that means they're buying, like the teeter-totter effect. They've been buying into the bond and bringing down the yield on the 10-year Treasury.
Ellis says with everybody buying bonds, he's actually selling them now. He says this is an exciting economic time, although it's a bit nerve-wracking. And he says the last recession we were able to spend ourselves out of it, but not this time. It's going to require consumers to save more.
We'll always have expansions. We'll always have contractions. We're in a contraction, but in order to get the expansion, we need to get through this wash cycle.
Ellis says he tells his customers to plan for the long term with their investments. He says he is optimistic that we'll all eventually get out of this economic mess and get things back to a more normal level in the next few months.